In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, a new members-only video training website, and out of Massachusetts, a concealed carry permit that hinges on your writing skills? All that and more. Call in now at 866-TALK-GUNS. Now, here's Tom.
All righty. Settle in. Strap in. Better buckle up because it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing 3 hours of nonstop gun talk because there's so very much for us to talk about. We have, of course, the national elections. I mean, we're really into full steam ahead. It is going wide open, 100 miles an hour with our hair on fire. We got Hillary and Bernie arguing about who is the most rabidly anti-rights person running. Really? I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. No, I hate the Second Amendment more. No, I hate the Second Amendment more. Oh, I'm going to stack the Supreme Court with anti-gun people. You know, the Supreme Court is simply wrong on the Second Amendment. Did you ever think you'd see something like that? It's bizarre. It's otherworldly. It's surrealistic. It's disturbing is also what it is. A lot of things going on there. We have an announcement by Facebook that they're going to be blocking the private sale, the advertising of private sale of guns. It's legal, but they don't like it. This is exactly what I wrote about back in October in the Washington Times when I talked about the web giants stopping commerce, legal commerce in firearms. There will be more of this. This is more of the public shaming of gun owners, and we'll be talking a good bit more about that as we go on. We have, oh my gosh, new guns we need to talk about, new competitions we want to talk about. We have in Virginia, the NRA strikes back, Virginia totally caving on their whole idea of we're going to stop reciprocity with half the states in the United States of America. Yeah, they gave up on that. And then we have CBS, welcome to the party. Finally, somebody's taking a hard look at the Wounded Warrior Project. I told you about these guys back 3 years ago. Now, told you who they were. I told you what they were. I told you how anti-gun they were. And some people still didn't believe me, and now people are looking at it going, ooh, Charity, or one of the charity groups that looks at charities and just put them on their watch list. The money really, a lot of it doesn't go to veterans. We knew that. $300 million a year they're getting now. $300 million a year. They have a staff meeting. They go to a 5-star hotel. They spent $3 million on a staff meeting. That doesn't go to veterans. There's more. We'll be talking a lot about that. We'll also be taking your calls, comments, questions, your range reports. If there's a gun you've been shooting that you like, I want to hear about that. If you have taken someone out to shoot, I want to hear about that. If there's something you've heard about, you say, oh, this is new, I need to ask Tom about it, well, ask away. I may have seen it, may not have, but I might have heard of it. You know, and the other thing is I may not have heard of it at all, and maybe you're the one who can tell us all about that. The number here is 866-TALK-GUN. It gets you in here, 866-TALK-GUN. Or honestly, it's just easier. Just dial it this way. Just dial 1, then Tom Talk Gun. That'll get you in there. Of course, email tom@guntalk.com. On Twitter, I'm at GunTalk. We have that up and running right now. If you want to post something on Twitter, I'll see it immediately. It's a way for you to get to me instantly. And of course, if you don't have your Gun Dealio app running, what's wrong with you? You could be saving money and getting notifications. It's a free app for your smartphone. It's called Gun Dealio. Oh. If you have Gun Dealio, we've done a lot of updating on it. Honestly, the best way to get the latest build on Gun Dealio is just delete it from your phone and then reload it from the App Store or from the Google Play. Get the newest version up there because we're building in more functionality all the time, Gun Dealio. Now, you say you'd like to get involved in a competition, a shooting competition, a national shooting competition. Well, but you never thought of that. Well, how hard is that? What would be involved in that? Well, let's talk about that. Right now, joining me is Brian Tatum from American Marksman. Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm well, Tom. How are you?
Well, I am good. I guess what we ought to do is start off and let's tell people what American Marksman is exactly.
Absolutely, I'd love to. So American Marksman is the latest brainchild of the Outdoor Sportsman's Group, which is, Outdoor Channel and Sportsman Channel combined. What we are is we are building a national tour of target shooting events built for amateurs. No pros allowed in this competition. This is amateur only. This is the average gun owner, the average, guy or gal that goes to the range a couple times a month. The really cool thing about this is not only are we building this national tour that leads to a really cool national championship event, we're going to be filming to produce a TV show, right? We're TV networks. That's what we do. We're going to show the competition. We're going to show the competitors, highlight some interesting stories, show maybe, some struggles that are going on to get to the next level, that kind of thing. And at the end, the payoff is really big here, especially for an amateur competition. The person that stands alone at the end and wins the title of the American Marksman is going to take home a $50,000 cash prize. So this is $50,000
cash.
Yeah, it's a lot of cash to take home. So, like you mentioned off the top, this is a way for people who have always thought about trying to compete, trying to enter a target shooting competition to do it. The first level, the local qualifying level, only costs $20 to do. And that first level also, by the way, I should say, is all 22 rimfire. So real, easy to shoot, no recoil, easy to get your hands on, that kind of thing. We've designed this really for the amateur shooter and that person that wants to kind of take that next step and get into competition shooting.
And this is, while the show is a little bit, what am I thinking of? The singing American Idol. It's kind of like American Idol. The only difference here is that instead of having like a few tryouts around the country, you're making it possible for people to go to hundreds, if not maybe even 1,000. I don't know how many locations you have now.
That's exactly right, Tom. It's a great point. At that local level, we're up to just shy of 200 ranges in 48 different states right now, where you can sign up, register, and go try that local level. And that number is only going to grow. Eventually, you're right, we do want to get to 1,000. We want to get to 5,000. We want as many ranges out there that want to participate to be able to do that. And I think we'll get there eventually. But right now, we're at 248 different states. What you do is you go to our website, which is ammarksman.com.
Locations. You have 200. Let me jump in. You said 248 states, 248 different locations across the states, right?
Correct. Yeah,
gotcha.
200 from coast to coast. We even have one in Alaska and one in Hawaii. So we are trying our best to get everywhere and give everyone this chance, right? So you go to ammarksman.com, you sign up, you register, you pay your $20 fee, and at that point you actually pick the range that you want to go qualify at. The website will serve you up a list of ranges that are near you. You pick it. Starting March 1st, you go and to that range, take your confirmation code, and they take you through the shoot.
Okay, so it's ammarksman.com, and let's back up a good bit because a lot of people don't know what has happened. Well, we're talking about the Outdoor Channel and the Sportsman Channel were two separate networks, and then for those of us in the business, we understand that there was a merger, buyout, whatever you call it, but the two are now together. They still are separate networks or different channels. So which channel is American Marksman going to be on?
That's a great question. The answer is both. We're actually we'll run the series on both networks, different times of the year, just based on some different TV rules and regulations that are out there that we have to deal with. But the Outdoor Channel will show it first, starting next December, and then carrying over into January, February to show the last couple of episodes. We'll cover that national championship. Then once we're done on the Outdoor Channel, we run the entire thing on Sportsman, and that'll go through Q1 into Q2 of next year. So it's going to be on both. It's going to get really, really good coverage.
So whichever channel or network you get, you'll be able to see this. Doesn't matter if you get the Outdoor or the Sportsman, you'll be able to see it.
Right. That's exactly right.
Okay, so you get in for $20. You can go and shoot. You can now, can you use your own gun, or do they have to use a specific kind of gun?
At the local level, you can either bring your own, or if the range that you've chosen has rentals available, you can rent from them. And like I said, it's 22 rimfire at that local level, right? Almost everyone who owns guns and is in this lifestyle has a 22. That was kind of the idea behind this, right?
Of course.
That's where you all start. That's where everybody starts, and that's where we're going to start with this tour. once you go to the local range, then and you've been taken through the contest by the range master, they're actually going to upload your scores to our website, which again is ammarksman.com, to one of a series of leaderboards that will actually be a dynamic moving leaderboard. So if someone goes in and shoots and their score, becomes the 10th best in their region, they jump up to the 10th spot on that leaderboard, and it's all real time. After the local qualifying period, which is March, April, and May, we will then invite a number of the top finishers in each of the divisions to compete in one of 9 regional championships that will take place at various points around the country during the summertime. At the regional championship, Tom, it's important to know at that point, it's not just 22. Now we're going to add in some new calibers, some new courses of fire, trying to find out who those better, who the most well-rounded shooters are out there. We'll have a couple of 9mm stages, a shotgun stage, a bolt-action rifle stage. So again, trying to figure out who those better shooters are. And from then, what we'll do is we'll take the top finisher in each category from each division and invite them to the national championship, which will be early next January of 17, January 2 through 6, 2017. We're going to have that down at the Civilian Marksmanship Parks Talladega facility, which if your listeners haven't been out there, Tom,
fabulous place.
It's incredible.
Yeah, CMP.
It is.
Yeah. Now let me jump in there because this is available to anybody who's 12 and up, because you've got a 12 to 16 junior category. You also have a law enforcement military category.
That's right. 4 total categories of competition. There's the junior, which you mentioned, 12 to 16. There's a men's open, a women's open, and then a military law enforcement. What we wanted to do was give as many people the chance to do this that wanted to, and to be able to compete against folks that are just like themselves, right? We didn't want a 12-year-old kid just getting started to have to compete against maybe a police officer or something like that, right? So they're going to compete against people like them all the way through to the national. Now, at the national, the top 36 or 40 folks that are down there at the national will all compete against each other. That's the great thing. Once you get to the end, if you're good enough to make it that far, you have an equal chance to win the $50,000.
Oh, okay. Now, tell them one more time the website so they can sign up and can find out more about it.
Absolutely. It's ammarksman.com. It's ammarksman.com. And, Tom, I got a couple of quick specials to tell your listeners about, too.
Okay.
We're going to be at the Great American Outdoor Show starting next weekend down in Harrisburg. We will actually be part of the Outdoor Channel booth. If anybody comes by, stops in our booth, and registers right there from the show floor, we're going to give you another one absolutely free. So it's buy one, get one free show special for anybody who's going to be there. We're going to be at booth number 463, which again is the Outdoor Channel booth. Also, Tom, lastly, just for your listeners today, we've got a special 25% off deal for them. You're going to get $5 off your 20 by using the discount code AM5OFF. That's AM, the number 5, OFF. That's on our website.
AM5 off.
AM5 off, just for your listeners, $5 off at 20.
Outstanding. And then I'm going to be at one of these events. Actually going to be at more than one of these events. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about this, Brian.
Well, our first one is March 20th here in Denver. We're looking forward to having you guys here.
I'll be there. Listen, thank you so much. That is an exciting program. Thank you, sir. All right, 866 Talk Gun. What's on your mind? Range report? What have you been shooting? Safety report? We want it all. Be right back with more Gun Talk.
Want to customize the look of your firearm and give it ultimate durability? Well, don't paint it. Cerakote it. Cerakote is a spray-on ceramic polymer coating that uses state-of-the-art technology to achieve superior abrasion resistance and corrosion protection. Field-proven and trusted by manufacturers and gun owners like you, Cerakote is the industry's unmatched performance leader. In lab testing and real-world applications, Cerakote outperforms the competition every time. See for yourself and find a local certified applicator near you at Cerakote.com. Choose the best. Choose Cerakote and finish strong.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
The
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
Your guns are hungry, really hungry. They crave lead. They feast on recoil. They were born with a gluttonous appetite for speed and accuracy. Centerfire, rimfire, shotguns. They all need to eat. Let the feeding frenzy begin. Aguila Ammunition. Feed your firearm.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Ah, yes, indeed. Facebook, cracking down. I love the way they write this. Cracking down on private gun sales, as though private gun sales are illegal. Yeah, no, they're not. The Menlo Park, California company said late Friday it will ban users from coordinating private sales of firearms on the social network and on mobile app Instagram. So Instagram, too. The ban does not apply to licensed gun dealers for purchases completed off Facebook, except that, of course, you may or may not know, or you know if you read my article in the Washington Times in October, that Facebook also blocks the advertising of firearms. So even if you are a legal firearms dealer, a gun store, you can't advertise guns for sale on Facebook, putting up, they call it boosting a post. You pay to boost a post. They will reject those. I think this is going to continue, possibly even accelerate. This is part of the public shaming of gun owners. Shame on you for engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. Shame on you for a legal practice. So we're going to not allow you to use the highway here. You can't put your store on this internet highway. You're going to have to put it back in the woods, in the weeds, where no one can see it. Because if you can't put your business on Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram and a number of these other places, PayPal, of course, has blocked that for some time, and eBay, then you lose the ability to reach tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people. And they could do it because it's not government regulated. It's not a government censoring you. It's just a company that says it's our rules. You don't like it? Don't use Facebook. We don't care. It's just their attitude. You don't like that? Okay, fine. Just go somewhere else. Except, of course, there's nowhere else that has the reach of a Facebook. It is part of the public shaming that is going on. And you see it when you read a lead in an article like this. Facebook is cracking down on private gun sales. The clear implication is there is something wrong that is possibly even illegal about private gun sales, when, of course, there is nothing wrong and nothing illegal about that. Let's go to the phones. Line 3, Guy's with us out of Walnut Creek. Guy, what guns are you looking at here?
Well, thank you for taking my call. I'm a longtime listener and appreciate it. So I'm thinking about the Springfield EMD in 9mm versus Kimber Raptor 2 in 9mm. They're very similar, 1911 style compact guns, and just wanted to know if you had any experience with either and what your comments were.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Kimber makes good 1911s. The Smith & Wesson EMP is a different category of gun, frankly. It is, while it's a 1911, it's not a 1911, and let me explain that. The EMP was shrunk down. There are essentially no parts in it that are interchangeable. It is a gun that is built around the 9mm cartridge. It will also chamber 40 caliber. It is impossible to make an EMP chamber a 45 caliber. That is just too big. So the gun is simply smaller. I will tell you this. I have shot the EMPs a fair amount. They have a brand new one out that's just wonderful. It's a 4-inch barrel with a longer grip. It is so shootable, it's unbelievable. They are superbly accurate and fun to shoot. I love the Springfield Armory EMP line. I just think it's delightful. And the new 4-inch barrel is a terrific gun. Ultimately, of course, Guy, you know what it is. It's going to come down to personal preference. And you're going to say, I like this, I like that, I like this brand, I like that. My suggestion would be, once again, as we always do, please find a way to get them both in your hands and see what you think. Everyone I've put, an EMP into their hands just goes, wow, that's really nice. Have you been able to handle either one of them?
I've handled the EMP and it has a really nice solid feel and decent trigger, yeah. So, but I haven't touched the Kimber.
Right. So, I would say, if you could get your hands on one, certainly do that. You know how the drill works. These guns are going to last forever. So you're either going to like it forever or forever you're going to think, I really wish I had had a chance to see both of these before I bought it. So, do your homework. Doesn't mean you can't get out of a gun. You can always sell a gun if you buy it and you don't like it. And the thing is, you're probably going to like either one of them. But I'll just tell you, I've had more experience with the Springfield, the EMP. It's a special, I won't say an expert's gun, but what I find is that people who really, really know guns really like the EMP. It's just delightful. All right, 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. We'll talk about, the things you want to talk about. I haven't had a chance to chat with you for a while. We were at SHOT Show, talking about all the new things there. We have some news for you that's going on. We'll have some quotes from Miss Hillary Clinton telling us that the Supreme Court is simply wrong on the Second Amendment. Oh, really?
Defending your Second Amendment rights since 1995 on more than 200 great radio stations across the nation. You're listening to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, I'm back with you. I love getting emails from people. I love getting these stories. This one, at least, could have gone badly. But Michael was paying attention. He had his safety awareness going for him. Michael from Texas writes me, he says, I listen to you religiously. I listen to your advice, and we have corresponded via email several times. The lesson I learned yesterday when I bought an Ithaca Model 37 from a young man is, don't assume they know anything about their gun. That's probably a good assumption. You have to assume that they don't know anything about their guns. He said, he hands me the gun. I check it, and it's loaded. OMG. To say the least, I was surprised. He had loaded 5 shells, shot one, and decided to sell the gun, never unloading it. I'm sure glad you keep telling us to check the chamber. If I hadn't, it would have been a shocking, terrible experience. That's Michael out of Texas. Michael, I'm sure glad that you did that. Once again, let me go over this again because it's, you can't say it too often. You just can't say it too often. When you pick up a gun, any gun, your gun, anybody else's gun, check the action. Pull back the slide, look inside. Remove the magazine. Look in the magazine. No ammo? Okay, good. Pull the slide back. No ammo? Okay, good. It's a revolver, swing the cylinder out. Look at it. If it's a single action, pull the loading gate open and look hard at every single chamber. Is every single chamber empty? If it's a pump shotgun, rack it several times, not once, several times. Here's the thing. If you rack it once, if there was nothing in the chamber but there was ammo in the magazine, you have just put a cartridge, a loaded shot shell, into the chamber of the gun. So a pump shotgun, you rack it. If it starts throwing live ammo out, you might want to take a harder look at things. You might just want to give that a little bit more attention. If it's an AR, let's go over this. If it's an AR, it's just like every other semi-automatic firearm. Remove the magazine. Okay? That's the source of ammunition. Remove the magazine and rack it open and rack it open and rack it open. You need to be compulsive about this. Think of being OCD. Rack, rack, rack. Every time you pick it up, rack, rack, rack. You put it down, you pick it up, rack, rack, rack. And people say, what are you doing? I'm being safe. Oh, you don't have to do that, really? Yeah, I tell you what, I'm okay doing that. When I pick up my gun, if I put it down and I pick it up again, I look to see if anything happened in the 20 seconds it's been sitting on the table. Well, that's crazy, Tom. Yeah, you want to explain to me the downside of that? What you're doing, let's talk about this. What you're doing is grooving. You're building a habit. You're building an instinct. You're building a behavior pattern. You are training yourself to the point where if you picked up a gun and didn't do that, the hair would stand up on the back of your neck and your skin would start crawling and you would think, something's wrong. I haven't opened the action. This happens all the time. We'll be in our office. We get a new gun in. I pick it up. I open the action. I look at it. I hand it over to Ryan for him to look at. He takes the action. He just saw me looking at it. He takes it. He opens it up and looks at it. He racks the slide. He hands it back to me. I have seen him do this. I know there's no ammo there. I take it and I open the action and look at it again. Why would you not do that? All it takes is that one time, like Michael had, where a guy hands you a gun where there's no conceivable reason for it to be loaded. But it was. There's no downside to this. And you build this habit. It's more than that. Among knowledgeable people, among veterans, among people who really know their guns, you appear to be someone they can trust. You appear to be someone who is careful. Is that not something that you would like? Wouldn't you like to be known as the responsible one? Someone who says, yeah, I've been watching him. He's okay. She's all right. She's going to be okay. When she picks up a gun, she always checks it. She makes sure it's empty every time. Was that not the person you would like to be known as? Here's a question for you. Are you afraid that someone will make fun of you and think, oh, he's the one or she's the one that the safety Nazi? I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with it. Well, that guy he's just crazy. Yeah, he's always checking guns to make sure they're safe. Yeah. And here's one more thing. If I'm next to you at the range, the public range, and you're unsafe, I'm going to say something. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to be nasty, but I'm going to say something. Once. Second time, somebody's leaving. Probably me. I'm not going to presume to make you leave, but I'm also not going to stay there because, yeah. I swear I'm not going to punch you in the throat. Really, I'm not. Well, I did threaten somebody to do that one time. So if you turn around with that gun one more time, I am going to punch you in the throat. That's what I told him. And it's amazing how after that, you know what? He was a lot safer. Sometimes you just have to break through. But I don't advise doing that. I'm just going to say, and here's a line for you. I really wouldn't mind if you didn't point that gun at me again. Just food for thought. 866-TALK-GUN.
What makes a legacy? Is it quality? Craftsmanship? Maybe it's the idea that every American deserves their right to security and peace of mind on and off the battlefield. What makes a legacy? Here at Colt, we're making it every day. Colt, built one at a time, proven every round. You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge. Crimson Trace.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
It's time for the Brownells trivia question. Brownells, serious about firearms since 1939. Are you a gun know-it-all? Well, you may have a chance to win the Brownells GUNTALK FN SCAR 17S Dream Gun and a trip to the NRA show in Louisville, Kentucky, May 19th through the 22nd. Here we go. The standard 9x19mm handgun cartridge has been popular around the world for over a century. Which of the cartridges below is not another name for this cartridge? 9mm Parabellum, 9mm NATO, or 9mm Largo? To answer and have a chance to win, go to brownells.com/guntalk. That's brownells.com/guntalk. When it comes to firearms, Brownells has more, knows more, and does more, and guarantees it all forever. Brownells is serious about firearms.
Yes, it is a big political risk for people because, you know, when my husband passed and signed the Brady bill, the assault weapons ban, a lot of the Democrats who joined him because they thought it was the right thing to do lost their seats in the next election.
Let's review. As we're being told that the American public wants more gun control. All the surveys say that the American public wants more repressive, restrictive gun control laws, really. Except that when the Democrats voted for the assault weapons ban and the crime bill and the Brady bill, the public sent them home. They fired the United States congressmen and senators, primarily Democrats. And the Democrats lost control of Congress for the first time in 40 years. Every time the Democrats forget that the American public does not want more gun control, and they keep listening to those in their echo chamber in Washington, D.C., and their advisors who say, now's the time, you can come out, it's okay. You can come out of the closet and you can show that you're for gun confiscation. And don't make any mistake, Hillary Clinton is now actually calling for gun confiscation, not common sense gun control like she likes to use, or I love the phrase, gun safety measures. Really, you wouldn't know a gun safety measure if it bit you in the rear end. Confiscation. Now we have bills introduced into the Georgia legislature and the Washington state legislature, and these have the appearance of having Bloomberg's fingerprints all over them, which call for not only the banning of the sale of semi-automatic rifles and pistols, but the confiscation of these rifles and pistols. Turn them in or go to prison. how quickly they forget. Or maybe they never learned their lessons in history. You do remember, I hope, that the American Revolution started and the first shots were fired when the British came to confiscate guns and ammunition. Lexington and Concord. You want to go pick up guns, you want to confiscate guns, and then they will say, yes, children, and this is how the Second American Revolution started. Line 2, Ed's with us out of Anchorage, Alaska. Oh, Ed just went away. Tell you what, Ed, if you're looking for a part for that gun, go to the Brownells website. They have lots of gun parts at brownells.com. That'll take care of that there. Let's see. The Wounded Warrior Project is back in the news. 3 years ago, I started getting reports about them being anti-gun. And people said, no, it's the Wounded Warrior Project. They wouldn't do that. We invited them to be on the show, on a Veterans Day show. And they said, no, we can't be on Gun Talk because we won't do any media appearances that involve guns. Excuse me? The Wounded Warrior Project? And we verified. I said, nope, you're right. It's our policy. We won't do anything. We won't appear where guns are involved. Okay, I looked a little further into it. I said, we won't co-brand. We won't allow our name to be used on guns either. Or on alcohol or on pornography. Right, okay. So we told the world about it. And after several weeks of refusing to come on Gun Talk, finally they contacted us and said, could we please come on there and explain this? Sure. The invitation's always out there. So their head, Steve Nardisi, he's the CEO, he came on Gun Talk, and I kept opening doors left and right, giving him a way to get out, to back out, explain that, no, that's not really what our policy is. No. He held strongly to it. That is absolutely our policy. No guns. We will not co-brand with guns. We will not appear where guns are. Now, if you want to raise money for us with a shooting event, we'll take the money. You just can't use our logo. We don't want to be seen with the likes of you, but we'll sure take your money. Now, they're taking in $300 million a year. So this past week, CBS News aired an investigation they did into the Wounded Warrior Project. Looks like they're spending only 60% of the money on vets. Other disabled veteran groups spend 96, 91%. Then they go on to say that the spending has increased dramatically since Steve Nardisi took over as CEO in 2009. From the story, it says, many point to the 2014 annual meeting at a luxury resort in Colorado Springs as typical of his style. Quote, he rappelled down the side of a building at one of the all-hands events. He's come in on a Segway. He's come in on a horse. About 500 staff members attended the 4-day conference in Colorado. The price tag? About $3 million. I hate that. I wish that were not the case. I wish this were not the largest group raising money off of wounded veterans. Now, to be fair, there are dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of really good groups that help veterans that you can give your money to, that you can donate to. I've gotten a lot of emails from people saying, oh my gosh, I've been duped by these guys. I don't know if you have or not, but a lot of people are saying, I've stopped. I've been doing that monthly automatic donation for my credit card. I've stopped that. Yeah, I mean, this is not a surprise. I wrote about this. I've talked about this. We've had it. I mean, you can go back on our archives, the Gun Talk radio archives. You can hear Steve Nardisi, their CEO, talking about this. It's October or November of 2012. HAVA is a great group. Honored American Veterans Afield. It's a group that I've been involved with for some time. You can look it up, honoredveterans.org. But there are groups everywhere. Get involved. You can help our veterans, wounded or not. 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham. We'll be right back with more Gun Talk. All righty. Line 3, Scott's with us. Carson City, Nevada. Hey, Scott, what's up?
Tom, I have a question I'm hoping you can answer a question or diagnose a problem. What I've got is a sporterized Springfield, and when I bought the thing, somebody had sporterized, and including they had glass bagged the stock. And I found out later, and I was trying to get it accurate, and I found out I could not get any decent groups on it. So I took it apart and found out that when the glass batted the stock, it was real tight. So I sanded out the glass batting to the barrel is now floated. And I just had it at the range and sitting at 50 yards with the supported on sandbags. I was getting vertically, I was getting a spread of about 3/4 of an inch. Vertically, but horizontally, my spread is almost 2 inches. And I'm wondering, is this something about that there's still something that I should be looking at, or is it basically I may have a problem with trigger control?
Well, maybe none of those. I mean, the problem is there are way too many variables, and we're only just talking about one of them. Obviously, you've identified one of the variables is, as we like to say, the nut behind the butt plate, right? That's us, the guy pulling the trigger. So that could be it, but it sounds like you probably are careful and you're shooting from sandbags. Could be the barrel. I don't know what condition the barrel is. Could be the ammo you're using. I'm going to suggest one quickie thing to try. Okay, may not make any difference, but it's amazing how many times it does. Now that you have free-floated the barrel, and I know that that's very popular and people have to do that, and often it's the absolutely wrong thing to do, take the action out, or at least loosen the stock a little bit so that you can do this. Fold up a business card, 1 or 2 thicknesses, and slide it into the channel so that it is placing pressure on the barrel about 3 or 4 inches back from the end of the stock. So that when you tighten the stock back into the action, you're actually putting pressure on the barrel at that point, 3-4 inches back from the absolutely front of the stock there. And see what that rifle does with a little bit of pressure on the barrel at that point. It is amazing how many times that will solve that problem for you. Just that one simple little thing.
That will but you think that would affect the horizontal spread?
Don't know. Don't know what's going on because you've got some harmonics working there. But I would say, do that. Now, let me ask you this question. When you're shooting from sandbags, do you have a sandbag under the butt of the gun as well as the forearm?
I did not.
All right. Well, then forget everything I said then, because if you don't do that, then nothing matters. If you have to have a sandbag under the back of the rifle and the front of the rifle, so that if you let go of the rifle and take your cheek off the rifle, it still is pointing exactly to the right place. Without that, nothing else matters. The technique is completely gone at that point. It's got to have sandbag front, got to have sandbag back, and you have nestled into it so there's absolutely no movement whatsoever. So try it again with that. I think we've identified the problem here, I think, is one of technique and a protocol and procedure. And it could be the rifle still, don't know. But that trick of putting a little bit of pressure on the barrel near the forend also is something to consider. But until you have shot with sandbags fore and aft and the rifle is absolutely nestled into it and absolutely nothing is moving, and the only way that you can move the, like if you're shooting right-handed, your left hand is actually squeezing the bag that's underneath the toe of the rifle stock, and that's how you move it left, right, up, or down, is just with a slight squeeze of your left hand. Now you're getting a good technique, and now you can find out what the rifle will really do. Hey, when we come back, we're going to be talking about self-defense with guns, with other tools, and mostly with your mind, because that is, in fact, the ultimate weapon. You need this information. Don't go far.